Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to today's CC class, not Bhagavatam class. Today we continue with CC Adi Lila, chapter 5, verses 29 to 30. The chapter is entitled The Glories of Lord Nityananda Balaram. We're very happy to have His Holiness Candramauli Swami with us. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and Srila Prabhupada Maharaj.
Haribo, can you hear me now?
Yes, Maharaj. Now you're clear. So far, you're clear. Perfect.
Okay. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vindam Yadyapi kevala tāṅra krīḍā-mātra dharma tathāpi jīvere kṛpāya kare eka karma. Translation. Although his pastimes are his only characteristic functions, by his causeless mercy he performs one activity for the fallen souls. Verse 30. Sālokya-sāmīpya-sārṣṭi-sārūpya-prakāra cāri mukti diyā jīvere nistāra. He delivers the fallen living entities by offering them the four kinds of liberation: sālokya-sāmīpya-sārṣṭi, and sārūpya. Srila Prabhupada's purport. There are two kinds of liberated souls: those who are liberated by the favor of the Lord, and those who are liberated by their own effort. One who gets liberation by his own effort is called an impersonalist, and he merges into the glaring effulgence of the Lord, the Brahma Jyoti. The devotees of the Lord who qualify themselves for liberation by devotional service are offered four kinds of liberation, namely, sālokya, status equal to that of the Lord; sāmīpya, constant association with the Lord; sārṣṭi, opulence equal to that of the Lord; and sārūpya, features like those of the Lord. Om Gyan Timidandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimakte Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvase Sasunyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we're speaking here about Lord Nityananda, the Lord Nityananda Balaram. There's no difference between Lord Nityananda and Lord Balaram. The only difference is their form, as they perform their pastimes in their different time periods. They're both in the same mood, and that is they belong to Guru Tattva. Lord Nityananda, Lord Balaram, is the emblem, or you might say the initiator of the Guru Tattva. Guru Tattva is where all of the principles that govern the activities of those who take up the role of spiritual master receive from that tattva, or from Lord Nityananda and Lord Balaram. Of course, there's another Guru Tattva, but that is a higher level of Guru Tattva. That's Prem Guru Tattva. When one qualifies to enter into the mood of Sri Vrindavan, they take shelter of Srimati Radharani, who is Prem Guru. But here we're speaking about the basic principles of Guru Tattva, and that is Lord Nityananda. Here, Prabhupada just speaks about the verse that there is a class of people who aspire for liberation. They are usually called the jnanis, or also the yogis, those who aspire
Maharaj, I'm sorry, Maharaj, but you lagged again. We can't hear anything you're saying. Uh-oh.
Entanglement by merging into the this is the
Okay, Maharaj. Okay.
muted, unmute. Can you hear me now?
Yes, Maharaj, we missed the last 2 minutes of what you said. 2, 3 minutes.
Really, that was a lot.
Yes, Maharaj. We heard about the one about the jnanis, and then it started lagging.
The jnanis are a class of people who aspire to get free from the entanglement of material energy by various types of exercises, such as performing penances or austerities, taking up various types of yoga, pranayama, like that, and realizing themselves different from the material energy. And then the result of that, if they accomplish yogis or jnanis, then they can merge into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord. Is that clear? Okay. And so here that is mentioned here, which is the first aspect of the absolute truth. Vadanti tat tadvad vidvavs tad jnanam avyayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaneti sabjate. That the absolute truth is one, but it's understood in three features: Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and ultimately Bhagavan realization. So for the jnanis and the yogis, they aspire to either merge into the Brahman effulgence of the Lord or into the body of the Lord, which is a little bit higher than the Brahman effulgence. And the different realization is they understand themselves as pure spirit soul, different from everything material. And they enjoy some kind of happiness which comes by freedom from entanglement of material energy. But Aruna Krishna Padam Padam Padanti Yada, because they don't take up devotional service, their achievement is temporary, and after some time they fall from that position and come back to the material world, usually in the mode of goodness, to take up activities in the mode of goodness in the material world. And the yogis are a little bit more better, and they are a little higher. They realize Krishna within the heart of all living entities, or the super soul. They don't refer to him as Krishna, they usually refer to him as Paramatma, which is, of course, a feature of the absolute truth. So devotees are not interested in these types of liberation, nor do they aspire for it. But here, that one who is engaged in devotional service may be offered, it says here, devotional service, which is considered to be connected to the process of devotional service. And that is, they can attain either one of these four statuses, sālokya-sāmīpya-sārūpya, or sāṣṭi, as described in this particular purport here. There's sometimes a discussion amongst the devotees whether this type of liberation is acceptable for a devotee, because it seems like it's still not the perfectional stage where they haven't come to prema pumarta mahan, which is the goal of devotional service, is to reawaken pure love for Krishna eternally through the process of bhakti given by Rupa Goswami under the guidance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And that is the process we follow, like that. But one may fall short of their achievement of pure devotional service, but still elevate themselves very highly on that platform. And they may be able, they may get one of these four, they be offered one of these four things: to have the constant association of the Lord, to have the same opulence of the Lord, have the same form of the Lord, and to live on the same planet as the Lord. So that sounds very lofty, and it is, but ultimately devotees, as Lord Chaitanya says, nadanam, nadyanam, nasundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye, manma janmani ishware bhavatad bhaktir hoitu ki tvayi. I don't want wealth, I don't want followers, I don't want the pleasures of the opposite sex, nor do I want to be known as a great orator or a great, you know, proficient of the Vedas. What do I want? Janmani, life after life. Just give me birth after birth to be born in the family of your devotees where I can engage in pure devotional service. So Lord Chaitanya is teaching the highest platform through his own realizations of the process of bhakti. So these are, sometimes we say these are concessionary, but they are also very lofty in their concession. That those who don't reach pure, pure love of God, still they've climbed very high on the spiritual platform and are awarded one of these four kinds of liberations. There's a fifth kind of liberation. It's called sahujya mukti. Is that those who merge, these are the impersonal liberations, but the demons also get that impersonal liberation. When Krishna kills the demons in Vrindavan, or any demon, they get some kind of liberation, and they get freedom from entanglement with the material energy, and they enjoy temporarily some happiness in that. But again, they fall down from that position because there's no devotional service. So, but the jnanis and the yogis, mostly the jnanis get, the demons can also get simply by being killed by Krishna. Of course, being killed by Krishna is not something that is so easily achievable. Everyone's being killed by Krishna through the external energy of the three modes of material nature. But those who get directly killed by Krishna, who oppose Krishna, they get that feature of impersonal liberation, which is called sahujya. And devotees don't even think about that one because it is simply for the demons or for those who are aspiring simply to free themselves. Prabhupada says the jnanis, they have a motivation to be free from material entanglement. The yogis, they want to control the material energy, and they usually gain mystic powers through their austerities. The jnanis, of course, the karmis, who are the lowest, they simply want to enjoy this material energy. These three classes of personalities all have some personal ambition in the execution of their activities. But devotees don't want anything but devotional service because they understand that devotional service is the perfection of the soul's existence and gives unlimited happiness, unlimited knowledge, and ultimately association with Krishna in the spiritual world. So devotees are the only class of people, the Vaishnavas, are the only class of living entities who are free from personal motivation. So now some of us who are engaged in devotional service, we may also have some desire to achieve something on the material level, but that is called karma mishra bhakti or jnana mishra bhakti or yoga mishra bhakti. Now mishra means mixed. And so when we're performing devotional service, we have to always be taking inventory and seeing what is our motivation in Krishna consciousness. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yes, Maharaj. We can hear.
Just checking. Okay, good. And so the devotees are reflective or introspective to see what is my motivation for performing devotional service? I'm simply trying to please Krishna and get his favor by pleasing him, or am I simply motivated to serve the Lord to get some benefit on a material level from that service? So that those who make Krishna their only goal in life, and those who approach Krishna in order to get something from Krishna through their execution of devotional service. So there's different kinds of devotees who perform devotional service. One wants to enjoy Krishna through the process of devotional service, and the other one wants to serve Krishna through the process of devotional service. Obviously, one cannot enjoy Krishna, but one can receive some of the benefits that one merits by the execution of devotional service, because liberation and material benefits also come by way of devotional service. Just like Bilvamangal Thakur, one of the greatest acharyas, he says, since I am engaged in devotional service, mukti, material happiness, mukti, liberation, are standing at my door with folded hands saying, how can I serve you? So, but devotees are not interested in these things. We have the examples of Kolovechur Sridhar, who was a simple banana salesman in the area of Navadvip. And Lord Chaitanya would go to him as a brahmana, and every day would barter for his wares. He would sell banana cups, banana leaves, banana plates for a few pice, whatever he would make. He would give 50% of his income to worship of the Ganges, and the other 50% he would somehow maintain himself. And Lord Chaitanya would come and tease him and wangle with him and try to get a cheaper price. And the Lord was just playing with him as a as a feature of his relationship with him. And he would say, "Oh, Sridhar, you're charging too much. You're cheating the Brahmins." And Sridhar said, "No. Actually, you can go anywhere. You'll not find a better price anywhere. No, Sridhar. I know you have a lot of wealth. You're hiding that wealth, and someday I'm going to expose that wealth to everyone." And so they would go back and forth like that. And the Lord would harass him in a very sweet way. And sometimes, but Sridhar was very simple. He had practically nothing. He lived in a little shack that had holes in it. When it would rain, it'd rain inside of his house. And he had hardly any possessions. His clothes were very ragged. But he liked to serve people by providing these banana cups, banana leaves, banana plates. And he was very much attached to serving Mother Ganges. So at one time, Lord Chaitanya performed in a ceremony where he revealed himself as the Supreme Personality of Godhead to all of his associates. And that was called the Mahaprakash Lila, 21 hours, where the Lord actually took the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He no longer kept his guise as the devotee of the Lord, and then the devotees were worshiping him, and that went on for 21 hours. During that time, the Lord was giving out benedictions to everyone, saying, ask anything you want, and I'm prepared to give it to you. So no one was asking anything for their personal interests. They were always thinking of others. Make my father a devotee, make my friend a devotee, give me pure devotional service unto you. And so, and then at one point, Lord Chaitanya said to the devotees, there's a person, his name is Sridhar. And he pointed in a direction. He said, he lives in that direction there. Call him and bring him here. So they didn't know who Sridhar was, so they just went, small group of devotees, and they started calling Sridhar. He became aware of his name being called. He came out, who's calling me? Oh, we are here, Lord Chaitanya. He wants to see you. Please come. Oh, really? So he came, and then that same Brahmana who was harassing him every day for his banana cups and banana leaves, now he realized he was actually the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So as soon as he saw Lord Chaitanya, he fainted in ecstasy. But then he got up, and the Lord said, hey, Sridhar, you're serving me so nicely. I want to offer you some benediction. Take anything you want. Just ask for me. And Sridhar said, I'm happy. I don't need anything. No, no, you should take something. I'm prepared to give you a nice wife, qualified wife. Uh, I'm planning. I can give you an island. You can live on your own. You can have your own island, a palace, opulence equal to Indra. Um, I can even give you a planet. So, as Sridhar was listening to this, he was becoming more and more anxious, and he said to the Lord at the end, he said, "I'm happy. Why do you want to make my life difficult?" So the Lord could realize that he's satisfied within himself. He's not asking for anything, nor does he aspire for anything. So the Lord awarded him. He said, "Well, Sridhar, then ask something." And Sridhar ended saying, "Well, my dear Lord, please come every day and buy my banana cups and banana leaves." Just by seeing your beautiful transcendental form, my heart is full of joy. So that's all he asked for. So you see that the Lord Chaitanya created a quality of Vaishnavas that see everything material as simply garbage in the street, no matter how material perspective they see it simply as just abomination. But sometimes the Lord will give these things to the devotee just to reciprocate. When Prahlad Maharaj, after Lord Shringadev liberated his father, Prahlad came to see the Lord and offered a garden, and it was a very sweet, intimate discussion between the Lord and Prahlad. And the Lord glorified his devotee so many ways. And he said, Prahlad, ask anything. Prahlad said, well, if you want to give me something to liberate my father. He said, that's already done. Ask something else. Um, and he said, well, I'm not a merchant. I don't really worship you for anything. I worship you out of love. And then the Lord couldn't convince him, but the Lord was persistent. He said, please take something. And then Prahlad said, all right, if you want to offer me something, then let me stay in this material world and preach to these fools and rascals who have created a humbug civilization. So all he asked for is to be an instrument of the Lord's mercy to preach to the conditioned souls. So devotees are satisfied in devotional service. They don't ask for anything material. And sometimes the Lord will give them material things, just like when Sudam or Sridham, no, Sudam, Sudam Sudam Brahma, his wife and him were living in a very meek and poor situation. Sudama used to have to go out every day and beg just to get enough rice so they could have food that day. Now, Sudam had been a schoolmate of Krishna in Sandipani Muni's school when they were young. So his wife said, you know, why don't you go see your friend Krishna? He's there in Dwarka, and ask him to give us, something so we can live free from all of this poverty. So he wasn't inclined, but his wife was persistent. So he decided, well, this is a good opportunity to see Krishna. So she had a bag of broken red rice, and she put it and tied it onto his cloth, and then he left. And when he met the Lord, he was so happy to see the Lord, and the Lord was even more happy to see him. The Lord washed his feet. They were recalling together how they lived in the ashram of their teacher, Sandipani Muni, and how they had undergone some difficulty when their spiritual master sent them into the woods to gather firewood. They were there, and all of a sudden there was a rainstorm, and it became dark, and they couldn't find their way out. And they were just together that whole night. So they were reminiscing. And then Sridhar pretty much forgot, uh, not Sridhar, but Sudama Brahma pretty much forgot, you know, to give that rice to the Lord that his wife had connected to his cloth. And he didn't even actually want to do that. But the Lord said, oh, you brought something for me. And then he got embarrassed. And before he could even say anything, the Lord grabbed it. And then he opened it up and he said, oh, this is so nice. And he took one piece of that rice and ate it. Now, the goddess of fortune, Rukmini Devi, was there. And she said, my dear Lord, this stuff is not fit for you. And, but he was so happy. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Tayam Yomi Bhakta Panashyati Taraham Bhakta Uparitam Asnami Bhayatatmanaha. Krishna doesn't need anything, but he accepts the offerings of his devotee when offered with bhakti or love. And he gives a very simple formula for offering. These things are very readily available, and one can offer these things, but with devotion, because devotion makes the offering and not so much the offered item. The offered item is there as part of the offering, but it is not the feature that attracts the Lord. It's the bhakti. And so the Lord is like that. So when Sudama spent time with the Lord and he left, and he didn't ask anything from the Lord. And as he was walking home, he was trying to find his house, and he couldn't find his house. And where he thought his house was, there was a magnificent palace. And he's thinking, where am I? Then he saw this lady dressed in gorgeous garments running to him, all decorated with nice jewelry and cloth, smiling. And she's running towards him, and he's thinking, oh, and then he realized it was his wife. So without even asking, the Lord gave him all of this opulence on the same level as Indra, the king of heaven. And so he accepted it because it was a gift from the Lord, but he had no need for it because he was satisfied himself. So we can learn from these examples that devotional service is so wonderful that one doesn't aspire for anything but to engage in devotional service, because one connects automatically with Krishna, with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, through the process of offering and serving the Lord. And the devotees always think, how can I serve and how can I please the Lord through my service? And of course, devotees think, what will please the Lord most? And then they think, if I could preach or become an instrument of his mercy to the fallen conditioned souls, this is a wonderful way to associate with and serve the Lord by preaching Krishna consciousness. So devotees take up the mantle of preaching as a way to really please the Lord, because Prabhupada said one who preaches Krishna consciousness or becomes an instrument for the mercy of the Lord to others gets special recognition by the Lord, and they become very much blessed. And then the Lord takes care of that devotee 100%. That devotee has no anxieties or no wants. They simply want to um, bring the conditioned souls to Krishna consciousness. So that's the perfection of devotional service. And that's a large subject, because we can think of different ways by which we can execute that service. And there are numerous ways how one can be an instrument for the mercy of the Lord to others. We have so many forms of expressions, such as, speaking about Krishna, uh, engaging in Harinam Sankirtan, uh, erecting buildings where people can come and worship the Lord, uh, distributing transcendental knowledge in the form of books. And I remember I was in one particular program in Canada many years ago, and one of the programs there was to think of different ways by which one can preach Krishna consciousness. And the devotees were brainstorming, and we came up with close to 44 different ways one can reach out to the conditioned souls: writing articles, getting on the media, uh, distributing prasadam. So many ways that one can serve the Lord. So it's not relegated or limited to simply becoming an orator of philosophy and transcendental knowledge. It manifests itself in different ways. Just like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Srila Prabhupada, um, there was one lady, this was way back when Prabhupada was personally present. This was in Europe somewhere, and she had heard about devotees, and she came to the temple. Now she was dressed in a very, what we say, uh, what's the word? Not presentable to be in front of the deities in that type of dress. Well, she had a mini skirt on, her hair was up, makeup, and we use a very loose word. Sometimes we say they look like a floozy. And so she came, but she was interested. And the devotee said, "Well, thank you for coming, but there is a certain dress code that we ask people to maintain. So you can come, but please don't dress like that." And she left, but the next time she came the same way. She was somewhat attached to the way she looked. So and each time she came, the devotees were giving her some, what we say, correction. And then finally they got a little heavy with her. And then she decided not to come anymore. But then she heard Prabhupada was coming to the temple. She said, "Oh, I should go and meet their teacher." So it was a Sunday feast, and Prabhupada had come, and people were entering in to hear Srila Prabhupada. And she came also, dressed the same way. Prabhupada was sitting on the Vyasasan, and he noticed the guests that were coming in, and he saw her, and he immediately directed his attention towards her. And he said, "Oh, thank you very much for coming. You look so nice today." So he was actually praising her. And devotees, of course, were saying something else. And she just became so, I can't, how to describe it. She became so happy. She just sat down and listened to the lecture. And that night, she said, well, if this pleases the devotees, then she took her hair down and started to dress differently. Simply because Prabhupada didn't focus on her external features, he focused on her as a spirit soul and welcomed her in that way. And then she was inspired, and then she was willing to do whatever it was necessary to please Prabhupada, to please the devotee, although Prabhupada never asked for anything. So that's preaching also, just to inspire people to come to Krishna consciousness by speaking in such a way that they'll be more and more inclined to Krishna conscious, becoming kind, becoming available to help people in their struggles like that. So preaching is not limited to just speaking philosophy from scripture like that. I can't see Sri Devi has put something in the chat.
Maharaj, she's asking, was that the devotee that later became Meru Devi Dasi?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't. Maybe you can. She can explain more about it than I can. I'm not sure. But that's as much as I know. And I heard that from one great devotee in our movement. So yeah, just to give you a little insight of how there is many ways by which one can take up the service of bringing others to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so we can offer a little discussion time.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for such a wonderful class. Really nice to hear such wonderful pastimes. We get caught in those pastimes and then we just get carried away and really relishing those pastimes. If I could request Preksha to stop sharing and we'll go into the gallery. I request devotees, please, wherever possible, whenever possible, if you can turn on your videos so that we can have each other's association and it becomes more personal, actually, if we can have our videos on. If there are any questions, please do unmute yourself. You can raise your hand. I'll call you in the order, or you can put it in the chat and I will be happy to read it. Marge, when you were speaking, and as devotees are thinking, Marge, when you were speaking about the different levels, and in the verse it said devotional service, the devotees of the Lord who performs devotional service, they fall in one of the four categories. And then you referred to this powerful Shishastakam prayers by Lord Chaitanya, Mama Janmani Janmaneshwari. So, Marge, which of these two should we develop towards? Like, should we be developing as practicing devotees in one of the four based on devotional service, or should we be heading towards Mama Janmani Janmaneshwari?
Some devotees say that to aspire for one of these four types of liberation is also a desire. Because well, Prabhupada said, if you want anything, then that becomes a personal desire. And so Lord Chaitanya teaches, and of course, the philosophy is there is just to want to serve. That's all. Serve in the best possible way. But to serve, service alone satisfies the heart and raises the consciousness. Material service, you sometimes you get something out of material service when you do something for friends and family members. There's some satisfaction there because someone is benefited by your activity. But and that's temporary and also not always satisfying. But in devotional service, because Krishna or the spiritual master or the assembly devotees becomes the object of our activities, it's on the spiritual platform. Therefore, it's free from all of the inebrities of material service. It's satisfying, and it's the nature of the soul's constitutional position to serve the Lord. Jīvere Sarupai Krishna and Nityadas. That's our identity. So when we bring material tendencies or material desires into our service, we somehow pollute the quality of that service, and therefore we don't get the full satisfaction. So one has to learn to be a abhiyalasita sunya, free from all of this, and simply serve for the sake of service. Service is so nice, and service is enjoyable. Not that we try to enjoy in devotional service, but we try to serve, and by service, we find happiness through that service. There's people who are motivated in devotional service to get some happiness from that service, but that also pollutes the activity, because happiness will come automatically by the arrangement of Krishna. One doesn't have to make that a feature of one's activity. Let me serve to please. And if we feel pleasure or happiness or satisfaction in our service, then we know Krishna is satisfied. We know Krishna is satisfied. And if Krishna is satisfied, the devotee doesn't aspire for anything. And that satisfaction brings knowledge and brings detachment from material activities. That's the benefit one achieves by devotional service. One gets knowledge of Krishna, or one gets knowledge of the process of pure devotional service, and one gets freedom from the sufferings that come by material association. These are automatically given to the devotee.
Thank you, Maharaj. Yes, Maharaj, I have to say that devotional service really keeps the mind and the senses engaged. And I think that's the purpose, right, Maharaj? Is how we can keep our senses and our mind engaged in Krishna consciousness so that we don't get drifted thinking what we can get out. And Maharaj, it doesn't, the devotees, if you have questions, please do raise your hand. I don't have to, ask the questions also. We would love to hear um, all of you throwing in your questions and your comments or even clarification, please. Whether it's from this class or something that Maharaj said in the previous classes, please, don't hesitate. Maharaj, how can we develop? Because I think you touched a little bit about devotional service in your class, Maharaj, is how, when you talked about, I think you said Mauritius, I think is where some country. Was it? No, I got the wrong country. Some country you said that where the devotee sat and came up with 44 ideas
Well, I was in Canada.
Canada. Sorry. Why did I say Mauritius? Sorry, Maharaj. In Canada. And
The area of Montreal, Canada.
Montreal, right, March. And when you said that, it was so inspiring, that devotees sat down and thought of 44 different ways. But March, my experience a little bit has been we come together, we sit and we crack our heads to make a list of it. But the follow-up tends to be the slack. How can we devotees, when we decide something to do for the devotional service, that we go after it and not just come together and talk and it doesn't happen?
Yeah, talking may give you some inspiration, but then there is the activity that follows. Just like Srila Prabhupada, before he came to America, he had to get so many clarifications from government agencies before he could actually travel to the West. And Prabhupada was running into obstacles in doing that, but he was persistent. But one thing he kept doing was that he kept writing his articles for Back to Godhead and distribute him. And at one time, he was suggested that he take up the process of translating Srimad Bhagavatam. So when he did that, he got a lot of recognition from high people in different places, mostly in the area of Delhi, who were in different, managerial organizational positions, even people who were president of India. And so when that happened, everything opened up really wide for him. He got everything he needed, and it became easy to get all the permission he needed to travel to the West, which was very difficult for a person of his status who had no family and really had no money either. But so Prabhupada was persistent in preaching, and through the preaching process, Krishna made all of the arrangements. So the Krishna factor is the one that makes everything successful. And therefore, if we stay engaged in devotional service, we have to persevere because the material energy sometimes presents obstacles. But if we use our intelligence and we are focused on achieving our goal, and then in due course of time, the mercy of Krishna will make everything nice or happen. Nothing glorious is handed to you. You have to work for it. But that work is not ordinary work, it's devotional service.
So Mars, the two key points that you mentioned is persistent and perseverance in devotional service.
Yeah.
Very key points. Thank you, Marge. Any questions from devotees? Please do jump right in. I don't want to be the one to take over the class, Marge. It's
There's a lot of devotees out there. I don't
Hare
see
Krishna
any.
Maharaj.
it's friction. Go ahead.
Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to you and all glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to the devotees. I get asked this question a number of times. I've been asked in Baltimore. I've been asked on Zoom. So I wanted your take on it. When devotees sometimes, this is a question that sounds a little frustrating to them. They're saying that, but we are trying to be Krishna conscious and we're trying to serve. So why doesn't Krishna, who's all powerful, just like wave his hand and make everything perfect for all of us? We have to go through so much. Why doesn't he make it easier or not? Or, if we're supposed to love him, why doesn't he just, he can make us love him easily. Why doesn't he do it on his own? I've tried to go around the issue with so many points from the Shastra, but I've always wondered what, if you were asked that, what you would say, so I can add to what I usually say to them.
He does that at a certain point, but you can't expect it though. It says that love begins where sacrifice begins.
Mm.
Not willing to make some sacrifice, then we won't be able to move forward. We won't understand this process. If we want to keep all of our material attachments and at the same time engage in devotional service, we're trying to mix two things that don't really mix. Although we may have material attachments, we should push them to the side and don't even give them any time or consideration and just focus on devotional service. And those material attachments will gradually wane and they'll be replaced by spiritual activities. Then when we get absorbed in devotional service and we have no more desire to satisfy our desires outside of devotional service, then Krishna will wave his hand. The thing is, you have to qualify to come up, just like if you're going for say you're going for a particular position, you might have to pass an examination in order to achieve that position. An examination might not be so easy, but still, you try to learn what are some of the questions that come up on the examination. Prepare yourself, and then act accordingly. So devotional service means to be focused on serving the Lord by serving the Lord's devotees. If you're focused on fulfilling your material desires, then how can you expect Krishna to, sanction that? He's not going to sanction that. He's trying to get you out of that. Instead of, he's not going to fulfill your material desires, because he knows that's not the best thing for you. You've been doing that for so many lifetimes, and you're not happy. And now you want to do it again under the name of devotional service. So yeah, so we have to understand what it means to connect with the Lord. And that is that one has to have that desire to serve the Lord, free from any other personal desire. Of course, according to the level of your practice, you may also get something from it. Just like those who want to serve the Lord but still have some material desire, they'll get freedom from material suffering, but they won't get Krishna. That's for sure.
You were making the case that they wanted this freedom that they have blocked, but they wanted Krishna to take them completely and not have any kind of freedom. Would that be a good prayer at all to even ask? Not to have any, this take me.
What's that prayer that your spiritual master used to offer? You remember that prayer?
Maharaj, I call it the scary prayer.
There's a number of them, but I can say, well, maybe one that I know why she's thinking ahead also. Whatever needs to happen for me to be able to be successful spiritually, let it happen. That's one of them?
Yeah. And whatever is blocking my praxis in spiritual life, please take that away. Whatever I need to make advancement in spiritual life, please bring that about. So we're asking, take away those things that are blocking my progress and give me those things that are favorable for my progress in Krishna consciousness. So that's a powerful prayer. That's a complete prayer. That's a prayer of a pure devotee. Whatever it is, take it away. I don't care. And whatever I need, bring it on. Even if I don't like it, still, I know it's good for me.
Well, if I can ask.
So you should be. Yeah, you should know that prayer. I'm sure you heard it many times.
Maharaj, but
that's why I want to ask a follow-up question, if you don't mind. The same prayer was also said to Gogovina Maharaj's disciples in the lecture that I heard, who said that they should do the same thing, same as you described so wonderfully. But then he added, but I've told you this, but you don't want to do it. You don't. It's exactly what it is. You don't want to do it. And yeah, Maharaj, please.
Yeah, because we don't have that faith that Krishna will, give us what we need. Because it lacks faith in Krishna, that's all. Yeah, just like when Lord Shiva sent that bhakta to Sanatana Goswami, because he was worshiping Lord Shiva for some material opulence. He said, you go to Sanatana Goswami. He's living on Dwarasaditya Til, which was a hill near Vrindavan. And so he went, he said, Lord Shiva has sent me here, says that you have something very valuable, and therefore you should give it to me. And then he said, you have a touchstone. And touchstone is actually a real item. It's not something phony, but you can't find them in this material world anymore. You touch it to anything metal and turns that metal into gold immediately. And it keeps its own position. It doesn't lose anything. It's like the sun. The sun radiates heat for millions and billions of years, but never decreases in its heat. So touchstone can turn anything into gold and still continue to do the same thing. So Sanatana Goswami said, "Oh yes, that touchstone. You can go over that. You see that garbage pile over there, and you can. I threw it into the garbage pile. You can go get it." So he got it, and he was happy. He was touching everything, and then he was thinking, "Well, Sanatana Goswami is a great personality. He must have something more valuable than this touchstone. I want that." So he came back and he fell at the feet of Sanatana and asked for, "I know you're a great personality. Why would you throw this touchstone in the garbage? You have something more valuable?" Sanatana Goswami said, "Yes, I do." He said, "I want that." He said, "Before you can get that, you have to throw away your touchstone." So he hesitated. But then he had faith, and then he did it. And then Sanatana Goswami taught him to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So we have to throw away all of our ideas on how to become happy in this material world.
Maharaj,
Thank you.
that is
Thank you,
the
man.
key point, Maharaj. Like two quick things, and then I'll come to Amrita now. Maharaj, it was when you asked Prakshit the question that Bhaktivedanta Swami prayed, two things that's coming to my mind is, there were when he mentioned that prayer, a couple of devotees that I knew tried the prayer, actually said the prayer, and within 7 days, their attachments got wrecked in a car accident. It was like heavy duty. One of them, March, I'm sure was Tirtha. He got into an accident on the highway, and Achyuta lost her car. And she said, Anasuya, I made that prayer. I was like, Hare Krishna. So, March, even when we say the prayer, March, we should be ready, right? That whatever comes, we're not going to regret it. That's the key point, right, Maharaj? Like it's not like we just say the prayer and Krishna is going to be according to how I'm going to have it.
Yeah, I've seen devotees who also say the prayer in a different way. They say, "My dear Lord, take away all my attachments." And then they start going and they say, "Oh no, well, wait a minute, that's so bad."
That's and I think much that's the key point is, like these questions that are asked by Prashad in classes, why can Krishna just, swing his magical wand over and make it all nice? But are we ready for it? Right? I think that's the key point.
We want to be like Rosie Dozy, that
Yeah.
he will that all of my attachments just melt into higher levels of spiritual happiness. The
Yeah. Euphoria.
thing is, when you ask, you're giving everything in the hands of the Lord. So he's going to do it the way he knows how to do it, not the way we want it to be done.
Yes, Marge. That prayer was very powerful. Yes. Thank you, Marge. Amritanam, go ahead. After you, Sri Devi, then I'll go to Vrishabhadas Prabhu's question.
Manaso de ho ge ho, yo arpiluntu alpade, Nandakishore. Nandakishore, my home, my family, my possession, my very body, it belongs to you. You can do whatever you want with it. That's Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Krita Janmo. Dhiraj, how's that song go? Or no, we got Gorangi there. Gorangi Priya, you know that song.
Hare
Krīḍā-mātra.
Krishna,
Yeah, sing that
Hare
song.
Krishna Guru Maharaj. কীট জন্ম হোক যথা তো আদাস বহির্মুখ ব্রহ্ম জন্মে নাহি আস।
Yeah. What's the translation?
If I get kid janma like insects life, and we can get birth in everywhere, but we want to serve to you. Kit
Whatever
janma
birth.
hok যথা, in every birth we want to serve to you. If I get kid janma like insects like, I also serve to you.
Mhm.
But I don't like to bohirmukh janma like mundane life birth.
I see. Every birth, just make me your devotee. Whatever birth I have to take, it doesn't matter what species of life I'm in. Just make me your devotee.
Wow.
You sing so
Hare
beautiful, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Pranam Guru Maharaj.
Amritanam, go ahead,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was so sweet.
It was so
Yeah.
sweet, Marge. Very sweet. Reminds me of Abhay Charan movie by Bhakti Swami. Exactly like that.
Yeah, some real nice songs in there.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. My humble obeisances. I could remember Bhakti Swami Maharaj as well. He sang this very well. I many times hear his Manasudeva. Yeah. So Maharaj, I wanted to ask, I think this is just I could say the lower version of the what discussion was going on, just a step below. Many times devotees are very fond of getting mercy. They are very happy and elated when they get mercy. But at the same time, when they get something for purification or some hard thing, at that time they'll say, "Why me?" This "why me" is very difficult, and so I was just wondering how to be aware that both the things are same.
Yeah. Well, what is that verse? Brahma speaks. Yeah. Tate nukampa shushamikshyamanam ujaneva kripa vivakam hiridva vahubir vidadanam namaste jīveti yo mukti padeshadayavak. Now, Prabhupada gave a lot of emphasis on that prayer, saying the devotees should learn that prayer. What does it say? That, my dear Lord, you have put me into this most difficult situation. And actually, because of your kindness, you have made the situation much easier than I actually deserve. I deserved worse. But because you're so kind, you've only given me a small token of what I deserve. Therefore, devotee thanks the Lord from within the heart. And that prayer eligible makes one eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. What is mukti padeshadayavak? That the kingdom of God becomes available to that person who accept the difficulties that the Lord gives them as opportunities for spiritual progress. The Lord is taking away some of our attachments, correcting our wrong mentality, and teaching us what is the real how we should be understanding things, giving us some knowledge forcing us to take his shelter more by giving us that difficulty. Yeah, it's from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 14th chapter, verse number 8. Very fundamental. Read the purport. The purport's quite lengthy, but it goes into the detail of that, the meaning of that verse. So
Yes,
yeah,
Maharaj.
Prabhupada said if you expect everything to be nice and easy in devotional service, you're in the wrong movement. Our material attachments are like big weights upon our head, and they become part of us, just like the soul develops certain qualities of that come by way of devotional service, and then the soul starts to resonate as being that those qualities are actually the identity of the soul. So we have been associating with the material energy from countless lives. So we imbibe all of these consciousness of this material existence, and we develop certain tendencies towards material life. Even if we don't want anything material, we want to be comfortable. We want life to be really nice and comfortable. Give me a nice, apartment to live in. Give me a bed that doesn't hurt my back. Give me the prasadam that's cooked properly.
Yes, Maharaj. Thank you very much. One realization I would like to share from this is what I personally feel is I always get more rasa from the struggles that come. So when the struggles are overcome, the rasa is more relishable, I feel. So
Bhakti Vinod Thakur prays like that. He gets in a mood of rhetorical. He says, "My dear Lord, what is my happiness in devotional service?" And then he mentions a few things, and then he ends. This is part of Saranagati. He ends by saying, "My happiness in devotional service is the difficulties I encounter in your service, because then I have something to offer to you. I have something to offer to you." If life is so easy, what am I offering? Nothing really. But so devotees don't mind difficulties because they know it brings them closer to Krishna. If they see it and act in according to how they should act, in that way they accept it as the mercy of the Lord, and then they learn from it, and then through that learning process, they can gain something in their execution of devotional service.
yes, thank you, Maharaj. I'll do the same prayers to you, Guru Maharaj. Well, let me have
Thank
something
you.
I can offer to you.
Haribol.
Thank you.
I'll be dialing your WhatsApp number.
Haribol.
Namrat, I got so many services for you, but I'm holding back because I know you're already overwhelmed with services. So as soon as you get a little gap, send a message.
Yes, Guru Maharaj, I'll definitely tell you in April for sure, because this month is a little busy, but definitely in April, yes, I'll message you for the next service.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to that.
Me too,
By the
Guru Maharaj.
way, Amrita, I saw the book that Mara shared with me, the layout of the pictures, beautifully done.
You did it. Yeah.
Beautifully done. Wow. Yes. Beautiful. Very nice. Very nice service. Very
I'm talking
nice.
about the travel diary.
Yes, Maharaj. Yes, yes. Very beautifully done.
That's a classic book, and it's selling like crazy as soon as we make it available.
Well,
But they don't care about the content, they just like the book. The pictures and the way the design, the cover is really beautiful. So
right. The cover, the color, it just catches the eye. It has a particular color and on the cover, Mars, that it just catches the eye. It has this very sublime, calming mood. For some reason, when I see the color of the front cover, it has a very sweet mood. Very, very sweet mood.
yeah, that's what sells the book.
Yes. Yes, Maharaj. Really, really nice.
I tell people it's optional whether you read it or not, but you can have a nice book. You can display
Thank
it
you,
on your,
Silpesh. Yes, look at it. It's such a nice, layout. I just love it. It's really, really nice. The
you've made these
color.
three little smaller pictures that illustrate the three places where I go.
Yes.
Yeah. There's India, there's the West, and then there's one more, I think. Vrindavan, maybe.
That's Vila Vrindavan.
Hmm.
It's really nice.
Yeah. And the guy who made it, you can only see his back, so I'm really happy about that.
You
He
know, Mark,
told you,
it's interesting because the first time I saw that book without even knowing that it was yours, initially I thought it was Prabhupada because of the way it looked from the back, the walking position, and then it switched to Bhakti Marg Swami because he does the walking part, and then it switched to you like that. I went through that phase in my mind.
yeah, the original cover was also nice, but this one, I guess, of course, I have no opinion either way, but this one seems to be, as you say, the color of the
Yeah.
cover, very soothing.
Yeah.
Very soothing.
Very soothing, very nice colors. It's just beautiful, catchy colors. And it's not the colors where it just strikes out very bright. It's very soothing. Like it's a very inviting color.
Hmm. And many of the pictures are so dynamic. That's Prabhupada on the back there,
Yes.
which is a very powerful statement, which illustrates Prabhupada's desire in spreading Krishna consciousness.
Wow.
Yeah, she did a great job, and that's why I can't wait till April.
It's right around the corner, Amrita. This is next month is April. So
Oh,
You
sure, go
also did
I
other
think
work that's all artistic too. She did Krishna. Does anybody have a copy of Krishna's Way available right now? We can put
yes.
Silpa
I
behind.
have it.
The is gonna go get it.
People look at that cover and they get mesmerized by that one.
Amrita Nam has got her service cut out for you, Maharaj, for the rest of her life. She will never say I'm bored.
Yes, I'm just ruining her family
I cannot
life.
say that. I think Guru Maharaj has really hit right on the point for me for the devotional service.
Yeah,
Nothing
I
better
can
than
never
devotional
afford.
service.
stay busy in Krishna consciousness. Material life just
So this is
fades.
the one going, right?
There we go.
You did that cover too. That's beautiful.
Yes.
Krishna and Balaram with the cows. And nice background with leaves and
Yes.
flowers. And then the back cover is Prabhupada. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Prabhupada. Love that picture of Prabhupada.
Yeah.
It's
It's
beautiful.
nicely encapsulated
Yeah.
with a beautiful with a powerful statement along with it.
And a peacock on the corner.
But yesterday I
Krishna.
went to one temple that I first time I'm in Delhi now. So I went to one temple called Dwarka, New Dwarka. So I came for the morning program. And I carried Krishna's Way with me. I had 25 copies. When we left there, we had no copies.
Haribol.
Yeah. And we ran short also. So 25 copies went in 1 hour.
Wow. Very nice, Maharaj.
Maharaj,
Really
there
nice.
it would be, it won't be enough for about 100 copies. You should take 100 copies over there.
Well, you go see Anasuya. She has a whole bunch of copies of the travel diary.
Yes, Marge,
Yeah.
I am going to start advertising them in our temple, and hopefully I can be able to move it before you come. And that's my
Okay,
prayer.
well, take my empty suitcase back.
Marge, I don't think you need that suitcase. It has seen much better days, Maharaj. If you don't mind, I'll get you a new one, but not this one.
I'm not going to say no.
Okay. Thank you, Marge.
You don't really have to.
Yeah, that one has seen better days. I will get you a new one, Marge. That's definitely because the book's weight was so much that it's getting kind of like off balance, the wheels.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You should see my main suitcase. Have you ever seen that one? For a handle, it has iron chains for a handle.
Really?
Yeah, wrapped in duct tape, so you can hold it, because
It
the handle broke so many times.
Hare Krishna. Oh, Krishna Chaitanya. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
Sridevi. Go ahead. Please, you're next.
Yeah, well, sorry, we're getting off here.
Yes, Marge.
Anyway, go ahead.
Sorry, Marge. Then I'll come to Vrishabha Prabhu's question. Go ahead, Sridevi.
Thank you, Anasuya. Dear Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm so enjoying all these discussions that I'm almost afraid to ask this question. Well, I'm going to go ahead and... Huh?
I'm also afraid to hear the question, but go ahead.
Oh, Krishna. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask anyway because, I'm just wanting to know what is it that I need to change about my maybe approach or what anarthas need to go. But I'm only happy in the temple. I just can't wait to get to the temple. I want to go for Mangalarti. When I go for Mangalarti, I just love singing and dancing in the kirtan, chanting in the temple. The kirtan is wonderful. Guru Puja is wonderful. The moment I come out of the temple, back again. Half dead, half mad, morose, dull, like this. I come back home and all this, housekeeping, which I don't like, is sitting around. So then I try to forget that I have to clean my house. And then Guru Maharaj has to come and point out how bad I am as a housekeeper. And I just don't like all this stuff. And then, of course, I engage in service to the devotees, which is nice. But I don't feel that happiness that I feel in the temple. When I'm in the temple, I'm completely, especially in kirtan, I'm totally and completely happy. I can't stop dancing. That's my problem, actually. I just want to dance all the time, sing all the time. That's all I want to do. Nothing else. And I think...
When I was in the Kirtan Mela about a few days ago, I think it was, and you were in the temple, they flash on the screen different scenes that are happening around the Kirtan Mela. And they flashed on you leading the dancing with all the ladies. When you were spinning your arms and going down and coming back up and then going back down again and going back up again. And I was thinking, there she is, she's in action. It was really nice. You were leading all the ladies in the kirtan, so I thought, yeah, even if her house is always a mess, at least she knows what to do on the spiritual level.
mess on every level, Guru Maharaj, not just housekeeping. But the only thing I can do is dance and then help others to dance, because I start calling everybody, come on, get going, dance with me, like that. But that's it. That's all I can do.
I saw that and I was amazed. I was watching it. They focused on you for a while because it was actually a feature, and everybody in the whole place was able to watch you dancing, leading the other ladies in the dance. It was really good. So I was thinking, Jai.
Well, I don't know anything about that because I was dancing. I didn't know what was going on. But I'm just thinking to myself, Guru Maharaj, I really should just move into a temple and just sing and dance. That's all I want to do.
Okay, well, good. And then I'll take over your apartment and then I'll keep it clean also.
It's yours, Guru Maharaj. Take it. Do whatever you want. I don't mind. As long as I keep traveling, preaching, singing, dancing, I don't want anything else. Bas, finished.
You take prashad too. So you should also take prashad.
Okay. Yes, that someone else cooks.
What did
I remember, March, when I bumped into Sri Devi in Mayapur and she was telling me that you're staying in an apartment. I said, oh my God, how lucky you are, because then you get to cook for March. She goes, no, March doesn't want to have my cooking. I had a crack up when I heard that.
Well, I had good prasadam down the street. So,
Wonderful.
but anyway,
Anasuya, Krishna takes care of Maharaj. You know, when Maharaj would go every day to Niranjan Maharaj's place, and they had scrumptious prasadam made by his disciples. Very nice prasadam.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I did have to worry about that.
One day was Niranjan Swami's place, another day was Shiva Ram Maharaj's place. And we had, the association of Devamrit Swami and Kalakanta and Prahladananda Maharaj, and many exalted devotees would come for lunch. And it was a festival, just taking lunch.
Wow. Yeah, Sri Devi, you got away with that one this time.
Krishna wanted to spare Guru Maharaj of my cooking, He said, no more of your cooking.
Sri Devi, you can just walk down the street from Jalangi Dham and you go to Soul. That prasadam is really, really first class. It's right next door. That devotee, his name is Gopinath. He's opened that place. His mother is there. They offered meals 3 times a day, quality on every level. So you don't have to eat at home. You can go to Soul.
Hari bol, some soul food finally. Okay, Guru Maharaj, I'll take
Which
it.
which means Marge is saying that you don't even have to cook for yourself.
Exactly. I got it.
You got a break.
That way I don't have to clean up the mess after.
Hey, Krishna.
But I was thinking, is she doing such nice service, and I should reciprocate? So we went through her whole house except her bedroom. We wouldn't touch that room, and we just cleaned everything.
Oh my goodness.
She didn't have a shower when I came in, and then after I came in, she got a shower put in when I was gone for a while. We were washing our own clothes in the bucket, and she buys a washing machine. So this all happened because she gave me the apartment.
Hari Hari Bol.
I live like a gypsy in a tent over here in this house, honestly. If it were not for Guru Maharaj, there would be nothing in this house. Because of him, everything is coming. I swear.
Just turn it into your office. That's all. Make it your office.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
And it
Hare
has,
Krishna. Marsh, there's a question here from Rishabhadas. He said, Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev and Vaishnavas, questions. Now, the first one is, are these 4 types of liberations offered to devotees, are they eternal? That's his first question.
Generally, devotees move on to the perfectional platform from that position. After associating with the Lord in the material world on one planet and engaging in pastimes with the Lord, they purify themselves completely and then reach the stage of going back to Goloka Vrindavan. And also other levels of, so these are not, these are stages by which one gets to the point of perfection. That's almost on the level of perfection, but not quite. Because it's many times these things are awarded in the material world, in higher planets or somewhere where the Lord is performing his Leelas. Because the Lord is on some planet in the material world at all times, doing his Leelas. Prabhupada uses the example like 6 o'clock. They're everywhere in the world, 6 o'clock is there somewhere.
Yeah.
So everywhere in the world, Krishna is performing his pastimes on one planet or another. So devotees get that association, they get opulence, they even get a form like Krishna. I mean, Uddhava had a form just like Krishna. It wasn't, although he was Krishna's cousin, he looked just like Krishna. In fact, when he came to Vrindavan, the gopis mistaken him for Krishna initially. So that's one particular form of liberation. But devotees, they're happy in that and they serve on that level. But ultimately, that leads them to the next stage where they develop pure love for Krishna. They have love, but it's not complete.
Marsh, what do you mean by they have love but it's not complete, Maharaj? What does that mean?
Different stages of love. Affection turns into various stages of attachment, which exhibits certain feelings towards Krishna in one mood or another. Just like prema has 8 stages, and each stages has a certain symptom of loving relationship with Krishna. And the highest is not attainable by anybody. That's called Mahabhava. And that's it says only 3 persons in existence have that stage: Lord Chaitanya, Radharani, and Madhavendra Puri. That's the highest stage of Bhakti Mahabhava. And then you read what are the symptoms of Mahabhava. That their love is so strong that they even die.
Wow.
Can't live without Krishna. And a lot of Mahabhava has 2 aspects to it, Vipalamba Bhav and Sambhog. Vipalamba Bhav creates such a mood of separation that the devotee can't do anything, can't function. All they can do is think of Krishna and how to actually, again, be with Krishna. Their minds are absorbed in Krishna constantly. That qualifies them to reach the spiritual world. So we don't really understand how detailed our attachments in this world are. But as you go through the different stages, you start freeing yourself from these even subtle forms of material attachments. And then it reaches higher and higher stages. And each of the stages have symptoms. You can read it in Nectar of Devotion, and you can also read it in a lot of the books by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Jaiva Dharma, Chaitanya Shikshamri, and many books by Raghunath Das Goswami. They all describe the higher mellows of devotional love.
Thank you, Maharaj. The second question, Maharaj, by Rishabhadas is that if I understood, if we perform devotional service with the conscious or unconscious desire, wanting to enjoy our devotional service, process or Krishna consciousness, we get one of these liberations too?
Conscious or unconscious?
Yeah, with the if we perform devotional service with the conscious or unconscious desire, wanting to enjoy our devotional service of devotional process or Krishna's association, do we get one of these liberations?
Oh, as you're still trying to enjoy something for yourself, no. These are levels of freedom from all material desires, but at the same time, not perfect in the process of bhakti. No, as long as you have a tinge of material desires, you can't get any kind of liberation. Prabhupada said if you're attached to one sweet ball, you have to come back.
One sweet ball is all it takes.
So what does that mean? We might like sweets and we may also take them, but are we attached to them? Attached means that I have to have it or I want it. Accepting it as, being offered to you as part of your devotional service, that's not attachment. You can take it or leave it because it is a higher consciousness. You can't give up the lower consciousness unless you have higher consciousness.
Thank you,
You
Maharaj.
can say no to anything material. You can say no to anything material because you're fixed in your devotional service. These things are just like ephemeral. They have no attraction for the devotee. Even, what is it? Life, eternal life on, even liberation, these different levels of liberation devotees don't aspire for. They're just given to the devotee. That's all. Lord Chaitanya has taught it. Manma janmane janmane ishware bhavatad bhaktiya haituki.
Guru Maharaj, on which level you can say no to anything material? Which level is that?
No,
Nishta?
when you can do it on any level, but if you to come to the level of realization, usually on the higher stages of bhakti.
So at least Nishtha?
Well, the principle is what is beneficial for my devotional service and what is unbeneficial for my devotional service. Anukulena and pratikul. If I'm going to do something that will impede my devotional service, that is called pratikul. Devotees can accept all kinds of opulences, but they can use it all in the service of the Lord. Although they might be surrounded by the opulences and take advantage of it, still they're not attached to it. They can leave it in a second if that's Krishna's desire, or they can accept it if that's Krishna's desire. Prabhupada said, if you're attached to living under a tree, that's a material desire. There's people who are attached to renunciation, but that's a form of attachment also. If Krishna says, live in the palace, and you say, I'd rather live under a tree, that may be a form of attachment.
Maharaj, so if Krishna says live in the palace and one wants to live under the tree, and that is a form of attachment, so how can one distinguish or differentiate
It's
between the
about me.
two?
Krishna want what do I want? I want to be known as a renunciate, detached from everything. That's another form of attachment. Distinction, pride.
March, what if
Lord
someone, sorry, March.
Lord Chaitanya says that Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim. Nasundarim generally is translated not attracting for the opposite sex, but Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives another definition of Sundaram. He says, I don't want to be known as a great orator, a great proficient speaker of Vedic knowledge. I may know so much of the Vedas, but I don't want to be known in that way, because it's part of the false ego. To be known as a great devotee, to be known as a learned devotee, to be known as a surrendered devotee. Even though devotees surrendered, they don't want the recognition that comes from these things. That's detachment.
March, what if someone has a desire to become, to be a brahmachari because they have no attachment, to grihastha life? Is that okay?
If Krishna says get married and you say I want to be a brahmachari, then that's attachment. But
And
if Krishna gives you the choice, then whatever you choose is acceptable.
And March, how can we tell, that Krishna wants us to get married and we want to be a
That's
brahmachari?
your spiritual master. That's what
Spiritual
he's there
master. Okay. Okay. Got it. It's okay.
Yeah. But people won't ask their spiritual master anything because they're afraid of the answer.
Yeah, I know, Maharaj.
Nobody asks me anything, so I think, I mean, how are they doing out there? I don't really know.
My March, I think it's so funny how devotees do get afraid to ask the guru because they're afraid that the answer they get will not be what they want to hear.
Yeah, it's safe not to ask. Same time, you may be going in the wrong direction.
Wow. Yes, March. Gaurangi Priya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. From here, we can conclude that for our spiritual মানে for our spiritual increasing situation, mental situation is the main thing, because mind is the king of all senses. If we set up our mind nicely, we can chant nicely and serve nicely. Is it right, Guru Maharaj?
Yeah.
So Krishna told Manmana Bhava Madbhakto.
Right. Good. Yeah, he says, always think of me.
Hmm.
And then he says, become my devotee. Not just think of me, but become my devotee also. And then he goes on to say, worship me, which means the activities of a devotee. And then he says, become humble by offering your obeisances to me. He said, you do these four things, then you've done everything in devotional service.
So if I can control our mind. If we can control our mind, then we can control our senses.
Yeah, the mind is the king of the senses.
Hmm.
The mind is more powerful than the senses, but the sense objects are more powerful than the senses. And the sense objects will draw the senses away from being controlled by the mind. So the mind has to withdraw the senses away from the sense objects and redirect it towards Krishna and devotional service. So it's mentioned, sense objects are more powerful than the senses, but the mind is more powerful than the sense objects. But if the mind is weak because the intelligence is not functioning not properly, then the sense objects lure away the devotee to these different forms of enjoyment. So it's the mind. Therefore, Krishna says, abhayasena tu konteya vairagya chigriyate. Practice controlling the mind, and at the same time, you can't control the mind if you're still trying to enjoy in this material world. So he says, give up this desire for material happiness and engage the mind in devotional activity. Two things, renunciation of the material, accepting of the spiritual. Okay. We're okay?
Yes.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Dandavat pranam.
That was a
Okay.
very nice conclusion of that whole topic too, Marge. The mind and the senses is quote unquote, lack of better word, the driving force of why we make the wrong choices that's not favorable to Krishna in devotional service. Such a nice culmination of the whole thing. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else has any questions? Going down the list here, don't want to miss anybody. And I'm going down the thing. If there isn't, Marge, would you like to end with a round of chanting, or do you have an appointment that I know you're in Delhi, so I'm sure they got you busy.
I escaped. I'm hiding out right now. So
Marge, how were you able to hide out in Delhi of all places? I mean, that's a pretty happening place.
yeah, there's 18 temples here, just in Delhi alone.
Hare Krishna.
18 ISKCON temples.
Wow.
And I've been going to Gurugram, Radha Damodar, and then yesterday I went to Dwarka, which is Rukmini Dwarkadish. So that's two. And then we have Parthasarthi, which is the main temple. And then there's Noida, and there's so many places. Delhi is huge. So anyway, I'm at a friend's house now, and I'm away from my computer. And as you can notice, things are different. I'm using persons whose house I'm using his computer. I'm there hiding out, getting away from the devotees who knock on the door and say, Maharaj. I say, yes. Oh, here's a flower for you. Oh, thank you. That's nice. Maharaj, I got a problem. What's your problem? I can't chant. I said, all right, then just try. It's like that all day. People come up and, you feel, it's nice because they're sincere. They're looking for something spiritual. But a lot of times they can solve their problems through the agencies that are available through the temple facilities. But they always go to visiting sannyasis. Like I was walking out the door today, and two guys came up to me. One said, "Oh, this other devotee here, he broke his arm in a car accident. Can you give him blessings?" So what can I do? So I gave him a sweet ball. Then I said, "Well, was it the fault of the other car?" And he said, "No." I said, "Who was driving?" And the person who brought him to me was the driver. So I gave him a sweet ball too. He said, "What else can I do?" Saying, best wishes. I hope you get free from your suffering due to your car accident. So, people come to the Swamis for everything. This morning I was sitting in Bhagavatam class and a lady comes up with her baby and a whole dish of sweet rice. I have to do the first grains. I was just finished the Bhagavatam class.
Right on the spot, Maharaj? Like right on the spot?
Yeah, they don't hesitate. Whatever they want, they'll ask you. It's all right. I mean, I learned after being in the sannyasa ashram for 30 years. No, actually, next year will be 40 years as a sannyasi. I learned that what is the actual duties of a sannyasi. It took me a long time to really understand, but I got trained by Anandajam training, and I found out the main duties of a sannyasi, which are to accept garlands, is one, to sign books, that two, to pat babies on the head, that's three, to cut birthday cakes, that's four. What else? There's a few other ones. To give blessings to pregnant women who are about to have children, that's five. So preaching is in there somewhere, but it's not on the top.
I was about to ask you about what's the preaching aspect and what's the writing books aspect.
So it took me a while to learn what is my duties, but now I got it.
Guru Maharaj, number one is preaching. Your classes are simply
Oh,
what.
Yes.
And I forgot the main one, standing for photos. Standing, that's the one that's the most proficient. Maharaj, I was in the airport the other day and I'm just getting my luggage and the lady runs up, "Can I have a photo with you?" "Oh, okay, no problem." She was on the same plane or something. So
Wow.
people are pious.
Yes.
They're really pious. And so they go to the sannyasis or they go to the gurus looking for some blessings, some benedictions. So one day I cut 4 cakes in one day. Not in one day, within 2 hours.
Wow.
So many birthdays. So yeah, so I didn't eat any of the cake. I was just distributing. It was fun.
March, I did see that in Mayapur. As soon as they see you walking up a saffron, then they flip out the cell phones, for I saw that in Mayapur with you.
Another one is not so common, but it happens, is the ladies, they run up to me and they say, "Can you find a husband for my daughter?" That's another one. I say,
March, it sounds
Great opportunity to get all my young godbrothers married, Guru Maharaj.
yeah. I say I have some some prospects here and there. So if you want somebody to get married, let me know. But no matter who I choose, they don't like anyway. So I failed at that.
So why go through all that headache, right, Maharaj?
Anyway, and they always give you some donations. So people are very pious. They're very
And generous.
generous. But they don't ask. I mean, the one girl that did come up to me after class today and asked for a philosophical question. So I thought, all right. But that's rare. Usually they ask for some material blessings.
Mm.
It's common. It's really common. It's not common, it's current.
When they
The
ask
West,
for
maybe not.
material blessings, Maharaj, then what do we do? Like what can we do? I mean,
Yeah, we could do different things. We can be very nice to them and try to say something that will make them feel appeased. Or we can just, like the other day, I was talking to somebody and some lady runs up to me with a piece of paper and pen. Can I get your signature? I was in the middle of talking to somebody in the temple. And I said, no. I just kept going. I just walked on. So sometimes it's like that. You just have to turn them down. When it comes to signing books, sometimes I say no. That's a big thing. Because when you sell a book, you got to sign it.
yeah.
So yesterday I signed 20 books when I was selling those books. And you can't just write your name, you got to write some blessing.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
they'll accept whatever you say, but sometimes you want to, I mean, people are nice and they're very enthusiastic to get some blessing. One time Prabhupada was in Delhi, I think it was Delhi, and he had just finished a lecture, and many people from the government were there. And so at the end, one very highly placed person, he came to Prabhupada and fell at his feet and did full dandavats. And devotees were really amazed to see that, such a highly placed person being so humble. So they asked Prabhupada, what is it about you that inspires people like that? Prabhupada said, I have no lust. And then he walked away. And then he got in his car. A few devotees were sitting in the car with him who were there. And they were also thinking, oh, Prabhupada is free from lust. And, So Prabhupada was also picking up on the fact they were still thinking about what he said. So when he got to his place, he turned around and said, it's not that I have no lust. He says, I have no time. So what he was saying, if you give Maya time, she's got you. Stay engaged in devotional service. But that's not the story I wanted to tell, because that illustrates how you can beat Maya. And even if you have material desires, you can beat Maya simply by staying engaged in devotional service, because that will protect you from everything external. That's the only shelter, devotional service. If you break from devotional service, you leave yourself open for something material, something that Maya will present to you. She's looking for that opening, and she'll attract you or try to attract you. So there was one very respectable gentleman along with his wife, nicely dressed. They came to see Prabhupada after election. After a lecture, Prabhupada was there, and they said to Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, please give me your blessings. Because people ask me for blessings too. I say, all right. I always remember what Prabhupada said. He said, Prabhupada said, sannyasis should not think that they can give blessings. So I use that sometimes. But they came up to Prabhupada, this very nicely respectable husband and wife, and they said, Swamiji, please give me your blessings. Prabhupada looked at them and then said, you don't want my blessings. And then they were persistent, and they said, no, Swamiji, please give us your blessing. Prabhupada was a little more stronger. He says, you don't want my blessings. And then they didn't give up. They asked again. Prabhupada said, all right, I bless you that your material life is finished. And that was the last time they just drifted into the crowd, and that was it. So people don't really want the real blessings. So we don't give those blessings. What kind of blessings you want? Oh, you want nice children. You want your husband to be nice to you. You want your wife to cook on time. These are the things they ask for.
It almost sounds, Marge, like the guru or the sannyasi is like a genie.
Yeah, you got it. Sannyasis have a big S on their chest. Big S stands for different things depending how you perceive it. Stands for servant, slave, sold out, sannyasi, and the last one is Superman. That means he can do anything. So people see sannyasis as Superman, some touchstone. And that's nice. The respect is there. Everything is there in terms of the behavior. But we just basically, people really have problems because they don't really chant nicely. They chant with offense, or they don't take time to really develop their chanting. If you really put full concentration, energy, time, and developing your chanting, you'll see your whole Krishna consciousness comes to another level of practice. It's all based on your chanting. And going to kirtan is essential. It's not optional. We should go to the kirtans. Even if you can't dance, still, if you take part in the kirtan by singing, and then you'll get purified fast. And you also get a higher taste. Kirtan is the monarch of all of the spiritual practices. Sri Devi knows that. Okay, so we can chant japa for a while.
Yes, Maharaj.
I actually have a few rounds that need to be finished. So these are my extra rounds, but I still have to do them. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Do we have the slideshow available? Because we've been putting up a slideshow every day of Radha Krishna deities along with the Maha Mantra. And we go from slide to slide as the devotees are engaged in the chanting.
Dave, I made you co-host, so if you want to pull it up, you certainly can.
Okay, that's nice. We can focus more on the beautiful form of the Lord while we're chanting. Okay, begin. We always begin by purifying our chanting by getting the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Sri Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Where's this show? It's not there. Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Krishna. Can you put me on full screen?
Yes,
Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama. Not me. This.
Oh, this.
Yeah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare
No, Maharaj, I can't put that one.
Hare
One
Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Sharing
Hare
that.
Hare Krishna. We had it, and now you reduced it to nothing. But it was 3/4 screen. You want to get back to full screen. Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna. Hare, there you go. Now you want to eliminate that. Can you do that? Hare Krishna
No,
Krishna. You can't?
No.
I can do it on my computer. I do it all the time. But anyway, but just leave it like that. It's better than nothing anyway. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama. That's not it. Hare Rama. Where it says view, hit view. I hit full screen all the way down. There you go.
Got this one.
You know, it's on this side, but you just, yeah, there you go. No.
Now it's back on top.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. That's better than nothing. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama He Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.